Yo, shooters, loaders, and casters, welcome to the Georgia Shooting Connection Friday night live stream. We hope y'all all had a good week. Scotsman, how was your week, my brother?
What's going on, folks? Good to see everyone. My week wasn't too bad, brother. It was a good, steady week at work. Not too bad overall. And good to be here. Good to see everyone out in there in the side chat. Looking forward to tonight. Looking forward to the weekend. And this is the best way to get started. What about you, Banner?
Nothing much. Just doing a lot of programming and fiddling. Not a whole lot. Nothing spectacular to report. Ricky, how about you?
Had a good Father's Day. I hope everybody else did. Got in a new air gun pistol that was been ordered for 4 months. I said that last week. I went and picked up my pistols, but I didn't get to go shoot them. So we're going to go shoot them in the morning. And that's about it for me, just working.
I won't go. How was your week, Kyle?
Speaking of going shooting, my produce manager is threatening to call into work so me and him can go to the range again. He had a really good time last time we went. That was the first time we went. So we might do that on either Wednesday or Thursday. You know how them salary people are. They can miss a day and not care.
Oh, yeah.
Other than that, everything's good. We went a little crazy on the prime deal days. I think we pretty much ordered a whole nother Jeep piece by piece. They've been showing up all damn day, and they're going to be showing up for the next week too. Other than that, everything's great. What about you, Rebel?
Same health wise. I did go see the surgeon this past Monday or Tuesday, and he walked in and said, "Hey, brother, you need a whole new knee." And I was like, "Well, no shit, Sherlock." And he grinned real big, and I was like, "Young whippersnapper," and he grinned real big, and me and him kind of hit it off, which that's a good thing. He showed me the model of the knee I'm getting. I said, "Now look, I don't want the Kia knee. I want the Mercedes knee." And he said, "That's all we put in is Mercedes knees." I said, "Well, when you go to consult my insurance, they're going to want you to put a Kia knee in there." And he said, "We don't do that." I said, "Good." So anyway, I got that to look forward to. But at least the way I look at it is right now I'm in constant pain. There's an end to the pain of the knee replacement, and I might not be as good as I used to be, but I'm as good once as I ever was. At least that'll get me walking and going and doing. And I told CW last week, I said, I wish I could get the place cleaned up around here. I said, I got poplar trees shooting up out of shrubbery and everything else, and I can't do nothing about it. It's kind of hard to work a bladed weed whacker a blade on a four-wheeler without cutting your friggin' leg off. So I just ain't done it. And he said, "Oh, we'll make do." I was like, "Okay, I figured you would." So anyway, looking forward for the guys coming up and coming down, and looking forward to seeing Uncle Bob again. That's the most enthusiastic man I've ever met in my life. Ain't he, Jamie? He's enthusiastic.
Yeah. He makes Speedy Gonzalez look like he's in a coma.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. When he sees guns, a lot of guns, he gets ADHD. I don't know if he has it all the time, but when he sees guns, he's like, "But ha, he, ha, He's everywhere. So anyway,
He's trying to figure out how he can buy and take them all home.
yeah, that's right. Which is not a bad thing, seeing as how it's my shop, you know.
How much you want for the whole store?
Yeah. Oh, I'd make him a price. Anyway, Walter, how's your week?
Well, I had a decent week too. You know, I've had this back issue going on, but I've been doing physical therapy for it, and it's helping. It's brought the pain level down to where it's manageable, and it's not keeping me from doing most things that I want to do. But you know, mine will never get completely out of the picture. It'll get down to a level, and it'll stay there about where it is now. It's not bad. You know, I've woke up when I was 22 after a long night of doing whatever and felt worse than I do now. So, you know, and I lived through that.
Yeah.
This will be fine. So, but the physical therapist that I go to is a very highly professional outfit. They do good work. They got me through the motorcycle wreck and the broken knee and all that other stuff too. So same guy has been working with me. So he knows my ins and outs, and he knows what I'll do and what I won't do. And so I did get to the range this week. Yesterday, in fact, I had other stuff going on all week long. I usually like to go on Mondays because it's the least populated time at that range is Monday morning. And but I went yesterday, and I was the only guy on the pistol range, so that was good. And we got some loading done, and we got some 3D print stuff fooling around, and then mostly fooling around, you know, and playing more than anything else, tell you the truth. So all in all, good week for me.
Good. Thank all you guys for being here and helping out. And we're going to be, well, we're missing CW for a certain reason, which we may or may not get into later. I don't think we probably don't need to talk about that too much, but
Dang aliens.
Yeah.
They got him.
I know they clocked.
yeah, I've
Everybody
already
clocked
got,
out on me.
I've already got a ransom though, so we'll take up a collection in the after chat. I think if we just ignore them long enough, they'll actually pay us to take it back.
They'll get tired of them talking.
Yeah. Yeah. Tonight, I wanted to do fun stuff. I just wanted to not have a topic and just talk about basically what you guys in the side chat want to talk about. And but I did come up with a couple of questions to stimulate the conversation to begin with. There's my buddy Dave Thorzak's out there. Me and him was on the phone probably for an hour earlier today.
Super Dave.
Yeah, if you got questions or comments or just want to call us names or tell us how great we are, you know, I know better than that. Anyway, the first question is going to be this. I want to go through the panel, and I want y'all to tell me your favorite B grade Western and who stars in it, and maybe who's your favorite B grade cowboy star, and it can be from any era. But when I say B grade, I'm obviously not talking about Tombstone, True Grit, those kind of things that were, you know, big box office blockbusters and stuff like that. But and maybe some older movies that may have been A grade that people have forgotten or maybe don't even know about. But before we get into that, I want to let y'all think about that. Except for 6, I got a question for 6 to begin with. I was listening to the news today, and I heard a news story about Texas. And don't get ahead of me now, Sid. But what I need to know is, how in the world does it take 2 weeks to find a giraffe
Right. Yeah. Hey guys, just
We were laughing at that at work today. How'd he get out? He slipped under the fence.
Yeah, sure he did.
yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
I know that there's hill country in the north, and I know there's scrub and stuff like that. But my vision, especially of West Texas, and I don't know where this giraffe escaped from, but is basically my perception is open prairie, and I've been as far west as Houston, but and that's
No,
not west at all.
Yeah, that's you still got 4 hours to go, dude.
You still got 8 hours.
No, I'm talking about an airplane.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
We
No,
know
you get out
Texas
there-
is big, but I mean, dude, it's a freaking giraffe. You can't miss the damn thing.
Yeah, how do you hide that?
You can't-
Right.
that ain't-
Or,
Do you
You'd be
know?
surprised you be sitting in a deer stand and you don't see nothing around you. I mean, absolutely nothing. A deer feeder go off and there's 20 deer standing in front of you in 10 seconds.
Yep.
I mean, you
Yeah.
cannot see in that stuff.
There's a big difference between a deer and a freaking giraffe, dude.
Yeah, it's called a
And that
neck
8
roast.
feet.
It depends on where you are at exactly. You get out there in the Austin, between Austin, San Antonio, New Bronzeville, and all that in that area. That's some deep canyons in there, and you can't just look. I mean,
If it's staying
hard
along
to see.
water, like along a river, like the Devil's River or whatever, yeah, you wouldn't see him. Yeah,
No, you
I
ain't
can see
seeing
that.
You ain't seeing nothing.
We had about 20 years ago. We had a guy that had a little petting zoo, and he had a big bull elk. And that thing about rutting season, he busted out of the fence. Well, it was open season. You know all the rednecks around here, Jamie. And we got a full 12-point bull elk running around, and all the local rednecks were like, "I'm gonna shoot that damn thing." You know, they never saw him all through deer season. He wandered back in his own pen about January. Believe it or not, I was like, "Behold, everybody thinks you're such a great deer hunter. You got a 750-pound beast roaming through the woods, and you can't even find him."
yeah, well, my thing, Six, when you said Austin, that, if he was around Austin, I understand why they can't find it. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not sure where the ranch was. A couple of the pictures I saw he looked like he was in some of that hill country. I mean, it ain't easy to spot him. I mean, especially when you get on, most 90-something% of Texas is privately owned. I mean, you just can't. You got pieces of property 700 or to 700,000 acres. People just ain't driving around looking for stuff.
yeah, my initial thought was, you can't tell me they don't have helicopters and drones in Texas.
Well, I think that's how they found him, was either a drone or a helicopter.
Yeah.
Well, unless he skylines himself, he'd probably be pretty hard to see. I mean, he blends in with the country over there. Light brown and dark brown.
Right.
Yeah, the pictures he was around. He was around a bunch of green trees, but he looked like he was in a lot of caliche.
And a bunch of what?
Caliche rocks and stuff.
Okay. That's sad, Edward.
Yeah,
Now, we
but
did
it's
have a redneck. We did have a redneck around here shoot a emu that had got loose out of somebody's pen. And
that's the weirdest
it-
turkey I've ever seen.
Exactly. You gotta know the guy that shot it. I mean, if you met him, you'd be like, I wonder what he thought, because I'm not gonna say his name, but he don't have many thoughts. Okay. I'm hungry, I'm sleepy. Okay, that's pretty much this guy's life.
I got to pee.
Yeah, yeah, I got to pee, and he don't have too many thoughts. So when this thing come through the woods, he must have thought that's the dinosaur. That's one of them dinosaur people been telling me about.
That's one of them
And he-
pterodactyls.
He shot it and he brought it somewhere to check it in. I like it not. And I mean, can you see their big legs sticking out of the bed of a pickup truck? You know, y'all got to see this thing. It's the biggest bird I ever seen in my life. You know, oh my God.
So I'll just shoot it. I don't know what it is, but I'm just gonna shoot it.
Damn, that's hysterical.
Yeah.
All I gotta say is during hunting season, watch whose property you go on. You know, people ain't got no sense. You know, it's a good way to get. Hey,
Like
there's
most
a-
of Texas privately owned, you better not be on their property without permission.
yeah.
You
A
know,
lot of North Carolina is.
I guess
Yeah,
it's
they.
back-
I just looked it up. He was out there, not too far from where they had that massive flood last year, and that's some really hard country to find stuff.
All right. I just wanted to try to get a chuckle out of
But it was funny though.
with that one. I'm like, how
Well,
does it take you 2 weeks?
I segued into Amy's story, so hey.
Hell, you got a chuckle out of everybody, even the side chat. That was great.
You know, speaking of little thoughts, and I've got to pay. I'm going to Savannah week after next. Next week I'll be in North Carolina. The next week I'm spending the week with my wife in Savannah, Georgia, and bring on the fishing tips, guys. I got all day by myself. They're having a class and seminar down there, so I guess I've got from 9 to 5 to go fishing or get in trouble or whatever there is to do in Savannah, Georgia.
Y'all go to Paula Dean's.
Yeah,
No.
go to the best tackle store you can go to, and look around and say, "Hey, boss, what they hitting on?" And you'll get a wealth of information. I'm sure.
Are you gonna
Dang,
freshwater fish?
Ozzy.
You gonna saltwater fish off the beach or?
I want to do both. That the river runs right in front of the hotel, but I'm thinking that that's going to be brackish.
Well, I'd go fly fishing for reds out in the marsh, but you have to get a guide for that. That's money.
Yeah. I don't
And if you go saltwater, that's money too. Your normal fishing license ain't gonna cover that.
Yeah, I got to have saltwater license. But heck dang, man, fishing from the beach would be fun. You can catch trout and redfish from that. Okay, enough of that. We'll talk fishing more later. Scotsman, what's your favorite B grade Western and who stars in it?
So this might throw some folks off. I had to look it up because it's been a long time, but Barbarossa.
Oh yeah.
And that's got Willie Nelson, Gary Busey, and Isla Vega.
I hadn't seen that in a minute.
Crash Rack and
I had to look
Kids.
it up. I couldn't remember the name of it, but that was 1982.
You weren't even born then.
I went to the movies to see that, and I was so disappointed.
That's why it's a B grade movie. It's not. It's
Exactly.
not a top. It's not a top tier movie. It was okay, but it's not a top tier movie.
Dale Pogue wants to talk about 4570. Hopefully, we'll get to that. Y'all remember 4570? Texarkana asked us, do we have any idea how big Texas is? I think I got a pretty good grasp of it.
I know exactly how big it is. I went down I-10 once. The heck with that. That's 3 days in Texas.
You spent a week there one afternoon.
Right, exactly. It was no crap, 3 damn days. Of course, it was in a big truck, and I had to abide by their rules, so you only drive so much without having to stop. So,
Yeah.
but it was 3 days in Texas. I was like,
Barbarossa is a prime example of what we're talking about. Somebody put up one earlier, and I can't find it. And I've scrolled all the way back to before we started. All right, Bama Dad, what's your favorite B grade Western and who starred in it?
I'm having a hard time with the B grade thing, but as far as favorite Western all around, I love the Good, Bad, and the Ugly.
Mm-hmm.
That was
That's
considered B grade. That was
Absolutely.
considered B grade. Yeah.
Skinny was.
That was Clint Eastwood, Eli Wallach, and
Mm-hmm.
Lee Van Cleef.
Lee Van Cleef.
Those guys are great in that movie too, especially Eli Wallach. Man, I love that part.
He played a good moron, didn't he?
It was the director that made it, Sergio Leone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was B grade at the time, but over
Become-
the years, it's elevated
Been
itself.
elevated.
It's become a classic. Yeah.
And
Yeah, it
the music, you can't get that music out of your head either.
You want to listen to some good stuff, man? Get you a good set of earphones and look up the theme.
Oh yeah.
There's a full orchestra playing it.
Mhm.
Man, that is good stuff. That is, I mean, that's better than Pink Floyd, dude.
There's Metallica with a full orchestra behind them playing that. It's rather impressive.
Yeah. I swear somebody put in a Western and I can't find it.
I'm not seeing it either, Jamie. They might have removed it. I'm not seeing anything.
Anyway, turns out the good, the bad, and the ugly is part of a trilogy. I call it the Dollars trilogy.
Right.
Fistful
bad,
of dollars and a few dollars more.
Don't finish my sentences.
Hey,
That's his wife's job.
Right.
I'm gonna speak with you in an Italiano.
I know, right? That's what Lisa and Chico both do that. Apparently, I talk way too slow. And so the next time I go to the doctor, and they said, "Do you notice yourself talking so slow that?" Yeah, I do. Yeah, there's one.
Man with no
Ozzy
name.
said he always liked old John Wayne movies when he was really young. Yeah, those are B grade movies when John Wayne was really young. Glenn Davis is talking about just exactly what we're talking about here. Mac Man, what's going on?
Hey, Matt, man.
He's packing.
I can't wait to meet him.
He's a nut.
I'm a nut.
Yeah, that would be what we're talking about, right? Hombre is a great movie, Del Poe. Okay, Chessboard, that's a good one. Jack Nicholson made a good mini.
Blazing Saddles got to come in here.
But please, let's leave the comedies out of there. I don't want people thinking we actually
What in
like.
the wide world of sports is going on
I
around?
don't want people thinking that we actually like support your local sheriff.
You leave Don Knotts out of this.
I think Don Knotts, I got a problem.
See, I avoided that one. I knew you wouldn't like that one, Jamie, so I avoided that one.
No, I'm sorry. Don Knotts was shakiest gun in the West.
Yeah.
Who am I thinking of? And support your local sheriff. What was his name?
James Garner?
Yes, Garner. Yeah.
Yeah, I said Jim Garner.
You did, didn't you?
12 hours from El Paso,
El Paso.
Texarkana. And 13 hours from Texahoma to Brownsville. Goodness gracious.
And that ain't the
Texas
long
is
road.
big.
All I can tell you, Tex, is this. We left at 5 o'clock in the morning going to Texas, and we pulled in there. Of course, we had women, and we had to stop. We had to eat at dang Cracker Barrel because they were Baptist. We pulled in there at 10:30, and we had driven like, how far is it from Silver Creek to Orange, Texas? Anyway, we crossed the Texas line, and there was a sign there that said El Paso, like 850 miles. And I'm like, man, that's 100 miles further than we've already been
Yep.
just to get across the state of Texas. So it took us another day,
Yeah,
or more than that, with them Baptist women. Yeah, y'all getting on the funny stuff.
Orange, Texas is already a 30, 45 minute into the border already from Louisiana.
Right. Once upon a time in the West, I would not quite count that as a B grade.
Yeah, no.
The stars that are in that are
That's another Biscotti Western.
yeah,
Biscotti.
that's
Somebody said Brokeback Mountain. I'm leaving.
that's Henry Fonda.
Why did you bring that up? Why?
I'm looking at a list of westerns on IMDb.
That's not a Western.
Yeah. Yeah, if you didn't
That
like
is
that, you're
not
gonna
a
hate the
Western.
one I'm listening.
That is not a Western.
Cat Ballou, Lee Marvin Chest says, yes, sir.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
That was almost a musical, though.
Yeah, this is funny right here. Texarkana. It's only 12 hours from my house to yours. Yeah. Yeah. Load up a 15 passenger van with
Baptist women.
70-year-old Baptist ladies and see how long it takes you to drive that 12 hours, bro.
That'll only eat at a
I would venture a guess that in 12 hours with those ladies on that bus, you'd be doing good to make it to Bama's house.
You know, El Paso is closer to California than it is to the Louisiana border.
What is?
That's crazy.
El Paso.
El Paso is closer to California than it is to the Louisiana border on the other side.
Did you know that Atlanta is closer to Canada than it is to Miami?
No way.
That doesn't sound right, but it is by about 9 miles. We're closer to the Canadian border.
We're off topic here. We're supposed to be talking about B-grade
think?
cowboy movies. Texarkana. 24 days. Yeah, you got that right, brother. Yeah. Okay. Lee Marvin, Cat Ballou. Once upon a time in the West was Henry Fonda. Was it Anne Margaret? No.
No, that was Henry Fonda. Crap.
No, she wasn't in it.
Charles Bronson.
Charles Bronson.
Yep,
That's
Bronson.
who-
Yeah. There's too many stars in that. That wasn't no big grade.
I wouldn't be B-grade Western, but it's a great movie. But I'm telling y'all, if you get a chance to watch Once Upon a Time in the West, that's one of those older ones that we were talking about
Yep.
that a lot of people have forgotten about. But if you're going to sit down and watch that movie, brace yourself because you're going to get PO'd, buddy. You're going to be
Henry Fonda's a bad guy.
Yeah,
if that gives you a hint.
Yeah. How many? Who remembers seeing that movie on the panel?
Oh, I remember it. I saw
Did
it
you
in the
not
theater.
want to? Did you not want to choke Henry Fonda?
Oh, I want to
Yeah.
kill him.
It
He's
has
a
been
bad
a
boy.
very long time, but yes, I have seen it.
I wanted to kill him. Looky here, Mark Thomas is in the panel. Woo! Hope you're feeling better, my brother.
Yeah,
Who
Mark.
next? Who next? Kyle.
Well, I can go.
I'd
I
be,
reckon. Or wait, I'm in the basement. Did you
Yeah.
go yet, Rebel?
No, I ain't been yet.
go.
All right, it's on you then.
I thought
Okay.
Texas Six was up.
Well,
Texas. We talked so much about Texas. I thought it was you, Kyle. What's your B grade Western, dude?
What, mine?
Yeah.
I like the Horse Soldiers, which I think is a B grade because I'd never even heard of it until I got really bored. And it was a good flick.
There's Tommy Boy's one put that in. My name is nobody.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a B grade. or not, but
it is. It's a spaghetti Western. That's part of the Trinity series.
the horse.
Okay.
What? No, I'm talking
My
about. the
name
one
is Nobody. Yeah.
I'm talking about the one Kyle's talking about, the horse
Oh.
soldiers.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if that's a B grade or not, but
No, it's got
Well, I'd never heard of it until somebody handed me the VHS tape of it. Said, "Here, take this home and watch it." But I like old Van Cleef. He's good in everything that he does. He plays an excellent bad guy. He really
Right.
does.
Oh,
He's got
yeah.
that look, you know.
that sharp nose.
Oh, yeah.
That,
Oh yes. It
John-
reminds me of what was the cartoon with what was it one of them, the cartoon characters, one was white and one was black, and they chased each other all through the towns and all that. He reminds me of the guy in black.
okay.
Does that make
Yeah.
sense? Do y'all know who?
Yeah.
I can't remember the name of it, but
All right, the Horse Soldiers came out in 1959. John Wayne, William Holden, Constant Towers, Judson Pratt, Hoot Gibson, and my favorite, Ken Curtis.
Festus.
Uncle Festus.
Ken Curtis was actually started his show business career as the lead singer of the Sons of the Pioneer.
I knew he was good.
Yeah, Paul Loud's got it. Spy versus Spy. Van
There you
Cleef
go.
reminds me of the guy in black in Spy versus Spy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch that one. Again, that might not be a B grade movie, but it is old enough that we've forgotten about it and need to go.
It's a great movie.
I watched it the other day.
Bama, was that Giant? Is that what you're talking about? With Taylor and Hudson and James
Yeah,
Dean?
Giant. That's what it was.
Yeah, that wouldn't. That
Not
would
really
fit
what we
that
call a
over.
Western, but
I think 310 to Yuma is a modern day B.
Yes. Damn it, Kyle, shut up. You're taking all my crap.
Bama Dad need to be careful about asking them trivia questions. You have to answer.
The modern 310 to Yuma. So my first pick was any of the spaghetti westerns with Clint Eastwood. Bama Dad took that. Then I thought, okay, 310 to Yuma, even though it had Russell Crowe in it, the remake, and what was the other character? He played on Ford versus Ferrari and played Batman, whatever his name is. Anyway, it had some stars in it.
Adam West.
It had some stars in it, but it didn't do all that well. So Kyle stole my thunder there.
Remakes usually aren't as good as the originals.
Actually,
That one was.
Actually, that one was. Russell Crowe's pistol work in that movie was freaking awesome. You need to watch it, Six. He's like gunfighter aficionado. Okay. Christian Bale. Thank you, Tex. I can. Um, anyway, I picked The Last Outlaw, made in 1993 with Mickey Rourke, Steve Buscemi, and one other guy, something Dermot. And Mickey Rourke plays an outlaw that they rob a bank, and he gets his gang leaves him behind for dead and takes all the money, and he gets back at him. It's during the after the Civil War period, sort of Jesse James era, and even though it's got some big names, it didn't do that well. But it came out in '93, and it's a pretty good movie. You get to see Steve Buscemi get shot in the head with a 45-90, and it's graphic. So,
It's hard to believe that came out in '93. Wow.
Yeah. So I don't know if it was a high production movie or not, but it never did all that good. I mean, you know how now we're spoiled. Some major feature comes out, and then next thing you know, it's on Netflix like 2 weeks. Back in those days, you had to wait for the VHS tape to come out, and I noticed it didn't take long for it to start getting shown on HBO and whatever. So, yeah, I thought it was a pretty good movie. But 310 to Yuma, the modern remake, is probably, like I say, star wise, it's not a B, but box office wise, it's a B. But it's a great movie with a tragic ending.
That's worth a watch. 310 to Yuma. And if you don't like the ending to the Russell Crowe version, go back and look at the old one, which you'll like it better. Tommy Boy, Little Big Man, starring Dustin Hoffman, was on today when I got home from work. Good choice, Tommy Boy.
I do not enjoy this, just personally. This is me. I was born in 1965, and I remember when we got our first color TV. And around the end of the 60s, that's when Westerns kind of started to change a little bit. And I think Clint Eastwood was responsible for that. John Wayne there was a little bit more proper gun handling and more realistic gun handling. The black and whites I never liked because nobody ever ran out of damn bullets.
Yeah, the old Roy Rogers movies.
Yeah, I mean, my God. I mean, you got a 37 shooter, you know, and you had to sling them.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
You got to know about
An extra 10 foot per second.
Absolutely.
Walter, what comes to your mind?
Well, I got a couple here. Let me get myself back in the show here. One of them I'm going to mention just because it's a great movie and had a bunch of stars in it, and a lot of folks may have never heard of it, but it's probably not a B movie because of so many people are in it, and that's How the West Was Won. That was back early 60s, and the cast of that reads like it's amazing.
It's a big list.
Big list. Carol Baker, Lee Cobb, Henry Fonda, Malden, Peck, Peppard, Robert Preston, Debbie Reynolds, Jimmy Stewart, Eli Wallach, John Wayne himself, Widmark, Walter Brennan. Yeah, it was a huge cast. And one of the things that was cool about it was that it was in Cinerama. And so they had this big curved movie screen. It was in like 3 sections. And so it wasn't 3D, but it was different from flat screen. It was really cool when it first came out. But because of the cast, probably not a B movie. So my B movie, I'm gonna list The Quick and the Dead, and the only reason I'm listing it because Sharon Stone's in it.
And you know, there was another movie that was actually a Louis L'Amour novel that had nothing to do with the Sharon Stone movie, And there's another movie called The Quick and the Dead, and it really is kind of a B Western, and it starred Sam Elliott.
Yep.
Yep.
And any movie, any Western Sam Elliott's in, the Sacketts,
Yeah, I'm in
The Quick
favor.
and the Dead, I'm a fan.
Yep. He's great.
I would have to agree with that.
Just hearing him talk.
Yeah, I agree with Paul Loud, though. Quick and the Dead had a huge cast.
Yeah.
Okay.
Huge.
Let's get back to this, and I'll answer mine on the other side of roll call. But before we get to roll call, go ahead, Six. We're waiting.
All right. Well, I'm going to go old school, and it's called The Lucky Texan. Who would have known?
Yeah.
John Wayne, Gabby Hayes.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
my
Go,
God. Hey, that's way back. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. 34. That's
All right,
one
we
of my
got-
favorites. The other, I got two other ones. One is Shane,
Mhm.
Oh,
and then the other one is The Searchers.
yeah.
I don't think Shane or the Searchers qualifies as a B, though.
No, they're but we're talking. Some of them y'all were talking about were just older ones. They're not necessarily
Right,
Yeah.
right. True.
Shane was definitely one of those that we need to. There's Mac, man. What's up, bud?
Hey, how you doing, guys?
We're about to have roll call. Tell us about your week before we do that.
Yeah, it's been good. I've done a bit of loading this week. I'm packed. I've just packed up all my guns are all done. Got my air tags and everything. All the suitcases are done. So we fly out tomorrow morning. So looking forward to that. Just been a busy week in work. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to the weekend. I can't wait to meet up with you guys.
Can't wait to meet you, Mac.
All right, here's the thing. We got to have something for them to type in for roll call, Walter.
Oh man.
Number in my mind. One of the movies we watched. We
I
talking
don't, tell me.
310.
Oh, there you go.
Mhm.
That's easy. Like it.
Perfect.
Yeah, we can spell 310.
Yeah.
I didn't. I just
Yeehaw.
typed the numbers.
All right. Now I'm gonna have to really do some backpedaling here with my mouse. MacMan 039 Reloading was in there first. Walter was second. Kyle is third. Mike Hester fourth. Bama Dad next. All of those guys are on the panel and in the side chat. Glenn Davis, 6-shooter Texans on the panel. Dale Pogue's out there. Paul Loud, Ozzy Osbourne, Ron, 2A Matters. The Crazy Scotsman is on the panel as well. Edward Petty's out there. Bobby Barlow, Glenn Davis. Tex I Can. Don't make me read, brother. That hurts. I'll have to say one 4-letter words. Or Ozzy keep telling. I can't say that. Chessboard. Tex I Can. Chessboard. Tommy Boy. Loaded up some of them bullets, Tommy Boy. Taking them up to North Carolina. Rollis Corvallis is out there. Armament and Axes. That's a good one. Let's put this one up there. Rollis Carvelis is out there. Tim S. Dwayne 7834. And MacMan asked for y'all to hit that thumbs up button. We'd appreciate that. That'll get us a few more views. Okay. Jeremiah Johnson's a good one. It's not a B movie. I think I remember going to the theater to see that one, but it's an older one. Robert Redford was awesome in that movie, and that guy that hunted the bears killer. Bobby Barlow, that was the Winchester 73. Far from a B grade movie when it came out, but an awesome movie if you get a chance to watch Winchester 73 with Jimmy Stewart and a bunch of other guys. Another one in that vein, Walter, the 6, The Man Who Shot Liberty Valance.
Uh-huh.
That's a great movie. The Quick and the Dead that we think of with Cheryl Stone and what's the guy from Titanic, that dude, that's actually a remake. The Quick and the Dead came out a long time ago.
Yeah, that was the.
Oh, I know who you're talking about from Titanic. Yeah.
Leonardo.
Yeah, Leonardo DiCaprio.
I thought you was talking about the other guy, the rich guy.
The one that just died, him and his wife.
Really?
Oh, Gene Hackman.
Gene Hackman.
Oh, well, that didn't just happen. Gene Hackman's been dead for a minute.
Last year or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Pretty recent.
Congratulations, Tim. He's a grandfather.
We have another grandbaby. Good deal. Lisa's son Daniel and his wife had a baby girl day before yesterday.
Cool.
So we're grandparents again too. Dang it, I can't find what I was looking for.
There's a lot of those westerns on YouTube. I think I got 3 different channels bookmarked to watch some of those older movies.
Here's the thing, man. There's more than one Tom Horn, but Steve McQueen is called the King of Cool for a reason.
That was a blockbuster at that time.
Yeah, it was.
Jamie, can I tell a quick tale? It involves 2 westerns. Just a quick one.
A quick one.
All right. I had a guy at the shop. He's one of those, what I call an agreeer. He agrees with whoever's the loudest guy in the shop, right? So we were talking about westerns, and one guy mentioned 310 to Yuma. And that dude was sitting there going, oh, yeah, I like 310 to Yuma. I like 310 to Yuma.
Humor.
Yumer, right? I like 310 to Yuma. About the 5th time he said that, I looked at him, I said, shut up, you ignorant wretch. Your Spanish is worse than your English, which is a Tombstone reference, of Johnny Ringo talking to the other guy. Everybody bust out laughing. That guy did not get it whatsoever. He did not. Anyway, all right, I'll shut up.
Okay, you gonna tell us the answer to the trivia question, Bama Dad?
Oh, I thought Walter called it out.
Did he?
Giant.
Was
Giant,
that really a Western though? That was more modern times, wasn't it?
Well, it was
It was about a
in the
ranch
West,
in
and
West
It was set
Texas.
in Texas, so
I think
Just
actually
because
was
that
out in
Texas doesn't make it a Western.
yeah,
Late
it does.
40s.
That's Texas.
the time frame was late 40s, early 50s, I think.
Something
Yeah.
like that.
Okay, now can I answer the question?
Yeah.
You got any money?
No. See if I can pull a picture up here. I can't pull up a picture.
I got one. What rock and roll star watched a John Wayne movie and came out and wrote a song about it?
Bon
The
Jovi.
one line that he said.
Go ahead, I'm listening.
That'll be the day.
Mm-hmm.
I know that movie. That's Big Jake, ain't it?
Searchers.
Searchers.
Buddy Holly came out and out of the movie theater watching that and wrote that song.
That's some good trivia right there.
It is.
All right. If I got too many dang windows open here. This is in the vein of a older movie. It's not really a B movie, but bear in mind it came out in 1958. Gregory Peck, The Bravados. You get a chance to watch this, and you will not recognize Joan Collins. You absolutely will not recognize her.
Is she a baby doll or not?
This movie has some very deep what's the word?
Dialogue.
Deep thoughts, deep meanings. It's a very good movie. And it's not a real long movie, but it's a great movie. So I recommend that one if you get a chance to watch that. We got hopefully a long weekend coming up for you guys. But the Bravados, Gregory Peck.
Chessboard just mentioned the one I was going to say, Big Country with Gregory Peck. That's a good movie.
Yes, it is.
I just ain't never understood why somebody would think a captain of a ship couldn't go traveling off through the desert and find his way around. You're out there in the big country, you're going to get lost. Come on, man. He was the captain of a ship on the seas.
He knows the stars.
No kidding. He had a compass. He knew where he was.
One of my favorite stars, and I know I'm going to get a ration of crap from you guys, but I'm big and tough enough to take it. So bring it. One of my favorite stars, I would say over the last 5 to 6 years, is Randolph Scott. And I know there's a lot of mess goes on with that, but I've become fascinated with his work, his movies. Particularly, there's a series of movies called The Renown Cycle, RANOWN. Think of Randolph and Brown. The producer was these are 50s low budget westerns, which is the definition of B grade. But a little bit about those. The renowned cycle, quote unquote, is the designation critics have awarded a remarkable series of low budget westerns from the late 50s starring Randolph Scott and directed by Bud Boddicker. Boettitcher. Some people say that there's 5, other people say that there's 7. 7 Men from Now, and from 1956, The Tall T, 1957, Decision at Sundown, a great movie. Sundown is a town. It ain't a time of day. 1957, Buchanan Rides Alone. 1958, Ride Lonesome. 1959, Westbound, 1959, and Comanche Station in 1960. I've seen all of these except one, and that's The Tall T. The rest of them you can find on YouTube. So the acronym RENOWN, RANOWN, is derived from, it's an acronym derived from Randolph Scott and producer Harry Joe Brown. Renown is not quite synonymous with Scott Brown Productions, the partnership responsible for a line of bread and butter westerns extending back to the late 40s. Moreover, 7 Men from Now, the film that brought Scott and Boddicker together, therefore qualifying as the first installment in the cycle, did not involve Brown, but was made under the auspices of John Wayne's company, Batjack. To muddy the waters further, Westbound, the 6th of the 7 movies that Scott and Boddicker made in close succession, was strictly a contract job for Warner Brothers. So those two are not included in the critics who only recognize the 5. So 7 Men from Now and Westbound. As a matter of fact, 7 Men from Now, they tried to get that part was offered to John Wayne to star in, and he turned it down to do The Searchers, Rebel. And so he approached Randolph Scott to do it, and Randolph Scott said that I would, but only if Boddicker directs. And so that started the whole thing. Yeah, the Magnificent 7 movies are great.
I was going to say Tim S. The modern Magnificent 7 movie, Denzel Washington with that twist draw, he absolutely makes that effortless. And Chris Pratt's character, I've always been lucky with One-Eyed Jacks. That's absolutely famous, or just great, you know. If you haven't seen the remake of it, it's worth it.
Yes, sir. Chessboard High Noon is a classic and always will be.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
High Noon is
Watched it a couple weeks ago.
that is among the pinnacle.
My darling.
Chessboard mentioned Gary Cooper and Glenn Ford. Glenn Ford played in some pretty cool westerns.
What's the name of that movie? Dang.
What's the one where he's the fastest gun in the West and
Yeah.
he doesn't want to shoot anybody?
I'll find it for you.
We're way past big
Santee.
westerns now.
Santee. Santee. Glenn Ford.
As in the Santee Cooper.
Right. That is as good as a Western can get right there. And you're talking about a bad man. Y'all got to realize something too, that a lot of these guys from these old movies that we're talking about, like Gregory Peck and Glenn Ford and
Tell you another one that's a good one. I can't never remember his name, but he was the one that played in My Three Sons.
Fred McMurray.
Fred
Yeah.
McMurray. He plays some good roles in westerns.
They all had to back then because that was
Mhm.
the primary genre that was so popular.
Yeah.
These
Right.
guys, like we were talking about Gregory Peck. Do you think Gregory Peck really wanted to climb up on horseback and do all the stuff that a cowboy movie has them doing? Probably not.
Yeah. Kirk Douglas probably did, but I don't think Greg Peck wanted to do that stuff.
I'm looking at the side chat, and it said Glenn Ford was one of the fastest guns in Hollywood, and then GG Outdoors says Sammy Davis Jr. was supposed to be very good. He was actually, him and Jerry Lewis
That's what I was supposed to say.
were super fast. And
There's actually a clip of them out on a stage playing with guns. If y'all look it up,
yes, and doing all the trick
tricks.
stuff.
Oh man, this is crazy.
But it's a little known fact that the first Magnificent Seven, Yul Brynner was the big star, right? And Steve McQueen was out there practicing with his six guns and this and that. And Yul Brynner told the director, I am not to be in a scene, the same scene where he's drawing a gun and I'm drawing a gun. Because Yul Brynner is supposed to be the fast, and Steve McQueen was so fast. So if you notice that first scene they're in together when they're riding up to the cemetery to bury the guy, Steve McQueen's riding shotgun, carrying a shotgun. You know, he don't even pull a six gun in that.
Yeah, so Bama Dad, is that from the Bravados? I believe it is.
It is.
I told you wouldn't recognize Joan Collins.
I kind of do recognize her now that you said her name, but yeah, pretty lady.
She was back then. She was a
Yeah.
ranch owner, and her father had died and left her the place.
A buxom lass she was.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. She's actually sweet in that movie.
Well, you know,
Fastest
we all
gun.
remember her from that TV show. So
Fastest gun alive was the Glenn Ford movie, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where he's a storekeeper or something like that.
Yeah, he doesn't want to do anything.
Yeah.
See that, Walter?
Yeah.
Count us down, brother.
You ready? On 3, 2, 1. Hey! West Coast weirdo. ¿Cómo se va, vato?
I tell you another good cowboy that don't get a lot of credit. That's Dean Martin.
Golly, he was, wasn't he?
go for
Yeah.
some good.
Dude.
Okay.
Yeah, dude, that's it.
Here's an interesting fact for y'all. Sons of Katie Elder.
What about it?
What was Doc Holliday's common law wife's name? Big nose.
Elder Katie. Yeah.
So it took me a lot of years to
Put that together.
put that
Yeah.
together that they are insinuating that these 4 boys are Doc Holliday's sons.
Well, I've seen pictures of Doc Holliday, and John Wayne don't look nothing like him.
No, he don't.
Is that where he teaches the boy to swim?
No.
No, that's where they're going up against a big, and I forget the actor's name, a big land developer or whatever, who's come into a town. He's bought up he won their old farm and playing blackjack from his dad, who's a drunk. And but you remember, Jamie, in the movie, their dad's name's Bass Elder,
Mm-hmm.
and he was a drunk and a gambler. So they kind of modeled him after Doc Holliday, but an aged Doc Holliday, which everybody knows Doc Holliday went to Colorado to die. But
That didn't happen. He was 36 years old when he died.
That's right.
Or
So
34.
right, but
You know
Bass
where he
Elder,
was born?
Georgia,
Griffin, Georgia.
a very green state, Georgia. Look. That's what he says in the tombstone.
I'll tell you another one who was in a lot of the old B westerns was Jane Russell.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There was a movie
Another
called Johnny
buxom
Reno.
lass. Yeah.
Buxom, yeah. She lived out here, not far from me. In fact, when I was working for the sheriff's department, I had a couple calls out to her ranch.
Jane Russell, and then what? It's escaping me. Who's the redhead that played with John Wayne so many times?
And
Maureen O'Hara.
Maureen O'Hara.
Maureen
Another-
O'Hara. Oh boy,
Another
oh boy.
buxom lass.
Yeah.
Well, when Angie Dickinson played in a young Angie Dickinson played in what was that? Rio, whatever.
Bravo.
Yeah. You couldn't tell her from the Angie Dickinson of later years. She wasn't buxom at all, you know.
That's one thing John Wayne would do. He would get a lot of young people to play to get them,
Yeah.
recognized.
Bring him along, bring him up. Yeah.
The other thing I liked about John Wayne is the people that he worked with. Clint Eastwood the same way. The people that he worked with would reappear in his movies as different characters. And I forget the old gentleman's name. He played in Chisholm as a bad guy, kind of the lackey, the sheriff, the bad sheriff. And then in Big Jake, he played an Indian. They just swiped some shoe polish on him and put him in a wig, and he played an Apache, you know.
He also was the one where over in Africa doing the safaris.
Yeah.
He was in that movie too.
What was that? I got a good story
Hatari.
about that. Yeah,
Hatari, yeah.
Hatari.
Yeah, collecting animals for zoos and stuff. That was actually a good movie. I really liked that one.
As a director of plant operations, I actually got in trouble. We were taking our golf cart around the boiler room, and a squirrel ran out in front of us. And my cousin, who was my employee, leaned down to the golf cart, and he said, "Doctor, that SOB," like that. And the squirrel's running in front of us, and we're chasing it with a golf cart. And we rounded the corner, and the CEO of the whole company's walking down. She heard the whole thing, you know, and thank God she just laughed, you know. But if Doug would have had a spear, he would have tried to spear that squirrel. You know, that whole scene with the didn't they do they did several animals out of a Land Rover or Range Rover or whatever, you know.
Yeah, yeah. They had the little Jeep as the hazer,
Yeah.
and then he was in it was a pickup like Willys or I don't know, Land Rover or
I
something
think it
like
was
that
a Land
pickup
Rover. Yeah.
that they did the roping out of. That was an interesting movie. The cinematography was great in that movie.
Oh yeah, it was. And speaking of cinematographers, we've mentioned several movies that John Wayne was in that he did, but Howard Hawks was a very famous cinematographer.
Don't you hate Bruce Dern?
Bruce Dern, actually, I saw an interview with him, and John Wayne was so mad he was going to die in that movie. When he slammed Bruce Dern up against that tree, he broke his rib.
Yeah.
Bruce Dern said he broke my rib, and he said, and I was hated from there on.
Yeah.
You know,
he's a great actor.
Yeah,
no doubt about it. But boy, he was always the guy you wanted to hate in the movies. It seemed like he always landed those kind of roles.
Well, even in the comedy Down Periscope, where Kelsey Grammer's the hero, Bruce Dern's the villain. You know, the evil colonel, which is a hilarious movie. It's not a Western, but
well, I want to address another comment here if I can find it. Armament and Axes. Val Kilmer, best Doc Holliday, no doubt.
Yep,
but
I agree.
This goes back to what I was saying earlier about the versatility of these guys that are acting in these cowboy movies. Man, we know Val Kilmer from 100 different movies, and that's the only Western I can think of that he was in. And he set the standard for Doc.
I'm in my prime.
Right. You got to remember, Kirk Douglas played Doc Holliday. And Val Kilmer blew him out of the water. For a totally different era.
Well, he played him real, you know, or how he perceived him. Diseased, drunk, flawed, and fast.
And he stayed in character the whole damn time.
Yep.
He based his character off somebody he met from, it was either Valdosta or Savannah, and based his speech off of their talk, and because he knew that that Holiday was from Georgia.
It was true Victorian kind of speech. And then the whole scene with Johnny Ringo with Michael Biehn, where they're speaking Latin, you know, if you ever pull that up and look at the translation, it really makes sense, you know, because when Michael Biehn pats his 6-gun after he's done his whole thing, you know, and he says that second Latin sentence, he's saying it's your funeral. And they did go back and forth in Latin. And I can understand a little Latin, but not a lot. I mean, it's a forgotten language, but I was taught at an early age.
My wife can speak a lot of it because that's what most of the plants, their real names are.
Right.
It's Latin.
Right.
And she'll just be rattling on and on and on. I'm like, I don't know what you're saying.
Yeah, but to use Latin in a sentence is hard. I mean, to say a plant name or animal name, you know, Redneckis Gritosaurus.
Right. I mean, we can all say E pluribus unum, but yeah.
Right. But to use it in a sentence.
A prime example would be back in the day when I was in high school, I had the choice of either German, French, or Latin. I took Latin. I was the only person in the class for 2 years.
I'll bet. That's a difficult language, dude. It's
yeah.
difficult.
Especially since nobody speaks to you.
It's
Mhm.
tough. It's tough as hell. But I enjoyed it. It was good.
I know there is a dog laying in the floor right here around my feet. I just don't know where, and I'm scared to step.
You'll know it as soon as you step on his tail.
Oh yeah, you'll hear her.
Okay,
Ted
there we
Ford's
go.
got some more cowboy movies for Val Kilmer, Wyatt Earp's Revenge, and Billy the Kid TV movie.
I didn't know that.
Floridian said Dennis Quaid played a good Doc Holliday. I remember that.
Dennis, well, you got to remember, Wyatt Earp and Tombstone came out the same year at the same time.
Yeah.
And Tombstone was such a cinematic marvel. It was just such a great movie. It absolutely eclipsed Kevin Costner's movie. Not that Wyatt Earp was bad. I think Wyatt Earp actually showed more of the flaws of the Earp family, which God knows they had a lot of flaws. You know, if you read about it, every one of their wives were whores. Every one of them. They picked them up, hither and yon, and brothels and this and that. And they had a vested stake in brothels and this
The
and
Earps
that.
we're talking about?
Oh yeah, the Earps were as dirty as the Clantons, but just because of the politics of the time at that town and the status that the Earps had, you know, the Clantons, the McClarys and the Clantons, and let's face it, the Earps were Union, and the McClarys and Clantons were Southern. And it's still a lot of Civil War vibe right there. They would go steal cattle out of Mexico, run them across the border, and sell them here in the United States. And nobody could touch them. But it's true that was one of the first organized crime examples of organized crime in the West. You know, New York had it for a century before the West had it, but it was one of the first examples of organized crime in the West. The Cowboys owned everything. They were it.
What's the dude in the red shirt? Dark hair.
Oh, that was Pyers Booth. He played
Yeah.
Billy. Billy
Brocious.
Yes, Billy Brocious. Yeah. And you got to remember, a buddy of mine's been out to Tombstone, and he said, you know, the fight wasn't at the OK Corral. It was at an alley next to the OK Corral. And he said,
on a vacant lot. In a vacant
right. He said, that vacant lot, you're talking about guys facing each other at 10 feet.
Yeah, it was.
Right.
It was
It's
close
10 feet.
quarters.
And you know, all this Hollywood stuff about stepping out in the street and shooting each other from 50 yards, that's all bull crap. You know, except for, oh crap, good Lord. Wild Bill. Yeah, Wild Bill, he could actually do it. And he was a twist draw man. He could actually do it. But there again, he got shot in the back of the head. So there was a lot of.
Yeah, but that's all Hollywood does, dude, is they fancy it up to make it better.
Of course, it makes us more entertained. You know, I mean,
for the screen, but
You're talking about in that little corral area, it's like I don't know how many shots were totally shot, but it was shot with black powder. You think they actually seen each other after a couple of shots?
No, they were shooting at movement, you know.
Hey, when some of these guys or even me shoot black powder doing cowboy action shooting, sometimes you can't even see the target 6 feet in front of you, man.
Well, I've got a book. I forget the title, but it's actually about the Earps, and it leads up their early life all the way to the OK Corral, and when Doc supposedly unleashed that shotgun, which kind of started the whole thing, he hit Frank McClary in the guts, and Frank McClary ran about 30, 40 yards down the boardwalk and it collapsed. You know, of course, he'd bled out by then. But
Hold on, McMahon's got to go. You ain't in trouble, are you, man?
No, dinner's just ready. So I just got to shoot off and have some food while it's still warm.
right
Well,
here,
see you, man.
Hopefully
we'll see you soon.
Monday evening.
Say again.
Hopefully we'll see you Monday evening.
Yeah, I'll text you guys, find out when you're all arriving. Like I said, I'm flying out tomorrow, but we'll probably come and meet you Monday evening if you're going out for food or something. That'll be great.
Yeah, I'm leaving hopefully before lunch Monday, which put me there by dinner Monday.
There you go. Cool. Thanks, guys. Looking forward to meeting you all, and we'll see you Monday.
See you then,
See ya.
bud.
Man,
Have a
Nice
good
to
night,
meet you,
bud.
Julian.
So what, Walter, what revolvers did Wild Bill Hickok carry?
They're black powder. Yeah. and
36.
51,
I think
1851, Navy.
51s, I think. Yeah.
51 Navies and 36 cal.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cap and ball. And by the time they killed him, he was everybody had to have them single action armies, but not him.
Yep.
Now you talking about a bad Western movie? That Wild Bill, who played Wild Bill in that latest Western movie? I don't know who directed that thing, but he ought to have been bitch slapped. I mean, it was just awful. It was awful. Golly, was it? It's the same guy that Jeff Bridges. The same guy that played the remake of True Grit, which was pretty good. He played Wild Bill, and just the way it was directed, it was so chopped up and so weird.
Mm.
I couldn't get through the whole movie. I've seen it in bits and pieces over the years.
yeah,
I want to like it, but it's just not a likable movie.
it's like me and Jamie were talking about one the other day that I think I needed to pull my soul out and have it dry cleaned after watching that one. Bone Tomahawk.
Oh God. Yes.
That is the worst. That's straight out of Pit of Hell. That was the worst movie I think I've ever seen in my life.
But
Is it a
it's
Western?
so bad that you can't look away from it. It's like watching a train wreck.
Is
Ooh,
it a
I
West-
did. I cut that dude off.
Is it a Western?
No. Well, kinda, yeah.
It is.
Ish. I don't know, but when they break out the bone tomahawk, that's kind of gory.
Oh no.
I tell you, a weird Western movie. It's set in the West, but it ain't no Western. It's modern day West. That's No Country for Old Men. Oh
Yeah.
Lord,
Mm-hmm.
That
you're
was
talking about a messed up movie. I mean,
who was the freak that produced that?
I don't know who produced it. All I know is when they talked to, I can't pronounce his name, the killer in that movie.
Same one that was in the James Bond movies.
No, I don't know about the James Bond movies, but he's a Hispanic guy, had a bowl cut hair, used an oxygen bottle with a cattle spike in it to do most of his killing. When they described him, the character, he said, "I hate violence. I hate guns." The director said, "You're perfect. You're absolutely perfect for this movie because you don't have any pretense, you know."
Preconceived notions.
Yeah.
Javier Bardem.
There's
Yeah.
Wild Bill, Jeff Bridges, and Ellen Barkin.
It's awful.
1995.
It's an awful movie. It's not good.
Really?
Yeah, it's not good. I mean, watch it, form your own opinion, but it's not good. I'd really, and it's a lot of probably the best parts of the movie ended up on the cutting room floor. It's just the way it was put together. It's just dumb, you know.
Here's, let me show you this.
It's horrible. Just watch it, Jamie. Just form your own opinion, but it's horrible. So just watch it.
Yeah. I'm glad you're echoing my opinion there, Scott. Yeah.
I don't remember how bad a movie it was. I have seen it. It's been a long time since I've seen it.
And you have so much high hopes because it's Wild Bill, right? And you're like, this is going to be great, and it's just not, you know. But Jeff Bridges played a good Rooster Cogburn. And a lot of people say, I ain't watching that. It's not John Wayne. Well, guess what? You know, John Wayne, I've got the original book called True Grit. And they never mentioned John Wayne in that book. You know, the gal wrote it, and it's a story, and there you go. You know. John Wayne, of course, is iconic as Rooster Cogburn, but it didn't follow the book. They made 2 movies out of it, as Hollywood is wont to do.
Let me put this, I'm going to put this link in the side chat in case y'all would like to watch that later. But yeah, the Renown series is pretty awesome, so I highly recommend it.
And someone mentioned one time the Western, the series, the Hatfields and McCoys. I said, that ain't a Western. That's straight up hillbilly stuff.
That's hillbilly right there.
Yeah, I said, that's why it's so graphic. You know, hillbillies don't kill each other like Hollywood cowboys.
I mentioned them chessboard. Kirk Douglas was Doc Holliday in Gunfight at the OK Corral. I forget who played Wyatt Earp.
Darn, I know it's bit face, but I can't think of his name.
All right.
John Cocktoson. No.
That was probably what, 60s?
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe
Robert
a little earlier than that.
Dude, too. Yeah. Armament
Well,
Axis.
it wasn't Robert Mitchum.
Yeah, Kirk Douglas was in a lot of cowboy movies.
Robert Mitchum also played in the first iteration of, let's see, he played in El Dorado. And then later on, that was made into, am I getting that wrong? Were the 2 John Wayne movies that are pretty much exactly the same. One has James Caan as Mississippi.
Rio Bravo and
Yes.
Uh,
Robert Mitchum plays the drunk in Rio Bravo, and then
Rio Lobo.
No, it's Rio Bravo and El Dorado are very similar. The
Yeah, El Dorado. Yeah. Well, if
yeah.
you look, about half of those are all filming that same jailhouse.
Yeah, exactly.
They just film it from different directions.
One had Stumpy, who was played
Uh-huh.
by a famous actor. What was his name? Jamie. He played in. He played one of the bad guys in
Walter Brennan.
Walter Brennan. He played one of the Clancy's or McClary's in what was the why my darling Clementine.
Clementine.
Yeah,
I'm trying to see Clementine, not Valentine.
Yeah, Clementine. And then you're muted, Jamie. You're muted.
I gotta go here, and we're late for verse of the week. Gunfight at the OK Corral, 1957, is Burt Lancaster and Kirk Douglas.
Yeah.
Rhonda Fleming, Joe Van Fleet, John Ireland, and Lyle Betger, Zach Clanton. All these names have gone down in history.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, that was back before AI and all kinds of goofy photography. Those fellers had to carry the movies, but on the acting.
Yep. I know where all the Western channels are.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all I watch. When you go on like this TV, you can't see it behind me, but Samsung, they have their own app, Samsung TV, and it has a section Westerns. You go to Bluetooth. It's got a section Westerns.
The Grit channel.
The Grit channel.
Grit channel, yeah. I watch that every once in a while because I don't have regular cable TV, but that one's broadcast locally.
Right.
And so I can pull that off the air.
Westerns on the web, on YouTube. There's one that plays a lot of the Biscotti Western. I think it's not Django, but it's something similar to that.
The Django.
Oh, yeah, Django. That's
a
weird.
Quentin Tarantino flick. Of course it's weird.
And it is weird.
All right, boys, y'all ready for a verse of the week?
Yes, sir.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Is it going to be Western themed?
There Jesus was, high in the saddle.
Riding his burro.
John chapter 3, verses 9 and 10. Nicodemus answered and said to him, "How can these things be?" Verse 10, Jesus answered and said to him, "Are you the teacher of Israel and do not know these things?" Y'all remember back, we've been talking about John chapter 3, and we've come all the way through up to this point, and we're seeing a discussion between Nicodemus, who was a big deal in Israel, and we'll get to see more of him later in John's gospel. If you would like to go read it, you'll see mention of him again. So right there in verse 9, I usually start y'all off with sharing John MacArthur's notes with you. Time out. Hey, Hillbilly. Good to see you, buddy. Uh,
Good to see y'all.
so verse 9 there simply says, Nicodemus answered and said to him, how can these things be? So, and MacArthur has no notes there, but it's obvious Nicodemus doesn't understand Jesus' teaching about spiritual cleansing and regeneration. And but MacArthur will touch on this in verse 10. So David Guzik there says that Nicodemus was confused. He was so set in his thinking that the new birth has already happened to him and all of faithful Israel that he had a hard time thinking differently. Jesus had to keep explaining. So verse 10 there says, Jesus answered and said to him, you are the teacher of Israel and do not know these things. I think that word "the" there is very important, and we'll get back to that. On that verse there, verse 10, John MacArthur does have a note, and I'll share that with you. The use of the definite article "the" indicates that Nicodemus was a renowned master teacher in the nation of Israel, an established religious authority par excellence. He enjoyed a high standard among the rabbis or teachers of his day. Jesus' reply emphasized the spiritual bankruptcy of the nation at that time. Since even one of the greatest of Jewish teachers did not recognize this teaching on spiritual cleansing and transformation based clearly in the Old Testament. And we can go back to verse 5 to see that. The net effect is to show that externals of religion may have a deadening effect on one's spiritual perception. Keep that last sentence in mind. Net effect is to show that externals of religion may have a deadening effect on one's spiritual perception. So Nicodemus would have been well known and well respected, probably all throughout Israel, but especially in Jerusalem. He would have enjoyed a higher standard of living than the average citizens, much higher certainly than the disciples and Jesus as they were carrying out his public ministry. And we'll with his position, he certainly should have been familiar with the fundamental concepts that Jesus was teaching. And let's go to Guzik there, see what he has to say. And I've done shared that one with you. You are the teacher of Israel and do not know these things. Jesus chided Nicodemus for not being aware of the need and the promise of the new birth, because these were plainly laid out in the Old Testament. Nicodemus knew these passages well, but believed that they had been fulfilled in regard to the new birth. He should have known better. Guzik there quotes Tenney, Tenney. He says Nicodemus's exact position in the theological circles of Israel is not defined, but the language suggests that he was a very important person. Jesus implies that, as the outstanding teacher of the nation, Nicodemus should have been familiar with the teaching of the new birth. Remember that sentence that I asked you to keep in mind. The net effect is to show that the externals of religion may have a deadening effect on one's spiritual perception. And what we see in many churches today is nothing new. What's going on now was happening then. Members are taught to a certain level. Their minds and their hearts set up like cement. We become hard-hearted, self-righteous, and judgmental, pious in our own minds. And I know that sounds harsh, but I see it. And I think that's what was going on with Nicodemus. The difference was Nicodemus is having those walls chipped away by his talk with Jesus. So this is a dangerous condition. This can repel lost, unsaved, the seekers, and even new converts. We need to be careful as the church, capital C, universal, about this kind of stuff going on in our churches. In the Gospels, many times we read Jesus had compassion. On the cross, he took the time to turn and save a common thief. So, but I'm kind of sorry I went off on that tangent. But as Christians, we must always keep a tender heart for those seeking salvation. We must never climb up on a pedestal and look down on those who've not yet come to Jesus. And we must always remain students of the Word, realizing we don't know what we don't know. We have got to remain coachable and students. And that's my verse of the week for tonight. That's our verse of the week for tonight. That
Very
makes
nice,
sense,
brother. Very nice.
Walter's grinning. I think that's a grin.
And he's muted.
Absolutely. No, that's a good section through here, and it's like, Nicodemus says, "What are you talking about? What are you talking about, Willis? How can this be?" And and he gets told right to his face, "Hey, we just told you what we saw, and how it was, and how can you not believe us? How can you not get this?" I think I remember some calculus teachers telling me that kind of stuff. But
I think one of the things that sent me off on that tangent is there was an incident where I was in the lobby during the preaching at my church. And there was a lady there that was obviously her first time there. She was in less than ideal clothing, very short cut, spandex kind of dress, very low cut.
She's hunting.
She was had a coffee in the sanctuary. That's a big no-no. And so she comes strutting out of the worship center and going to the bathroom. And I saw one of the little old ladies of the church get up and follow her in there. And I'm like, oh no, here we go.
oh,
And they came back down the hall, and the elder lady took her into the closet and gave her a wrap to cover herself up. And she was trying to guzzle that coffee down so she could go back into the service. And, how many times have we invited people to church and somebody at the church does or says something to them to hurt their feelings? And what's more important than coming off as Bertha better than you is people have to learn these things. She didn't know these things, and the lady did well because she's trying to hurry up and drink her coffee so she can get back in there, man. And she goes back into the worship center. If that had been anybody with the kind of attitude that I think about sometimes, she would have walked out the door and never come back. But my point is, as Christian people, we need to be careful about how we project ourselves and how we come across to people who have not yet come to Jesus. And certainly we want to do no harm.
I would expand that to say as a people, because if everybody on this panel all got together and we were shooting as a group, and we have Wally Wienerhead show up at the range, and he doesn't know what he's doing, and he's talking, and he's kind of a geeky, and human nature almost tells you to shrug that guy off, and maybe he wants to learn. Maybe he doesn't, but maybe he does, and take him in, teach him, try to anyway, as awkward as that might be. Just like a gal in a Baptist church with a spandex dress. I can't imagine.
I know somebody that would, when you showed up to church and you wasn't in a 3-piece suit, he would just go berserk. It's like, you need to look at yourself, dude. If you're here, you're here.
He's the one somebody needs to pull to the side and straighten out.
Yeah.
Right. Like, okay, so this guy showed up in shorts and flip flops, but at least he showed up.
Right.
That
Exactly.
We've had some young ladies show up in some stuff that really wasn't right.
Oh yeah, I've seen many of them.
And her daddy was in leadership in the church. After the service was over, I'm an usher, so I was standing to the side and I said, "Hey, we need to talk." That's what I said. Do you ever look at your daughter before she dresses and before she comes to church? He said, "She don't live at our house. She lives on her own." I said, "Maybe y'all need to meet before church and bring her a sweater or something." I said, "It's not okay."
Well, we also have to remember, the person that lives in a glass house, not to cast stones, and
Yeah, Billy, we can't hardly hear you, man.
oh really?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you, but your volume's real low.
I'll be darned.
Someone's spider monkey went nuts.
Is that any better?
Not much.
Not much. We can hear you. We all just have to shut up.
Yeah, you changed something.
I ain't changed anything but my shirt and my underwear.
Well, thank God for that.
At least the screen was off.
There you go.
Try it now, Hillbilly.
That ain't better.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a little
One
better.
more time. That's better.
Is that any better now?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it defaulted to a different microphone. Sorry about that. But yeah, man, great lesson there, Jamie. And yeah, I think I can't remember the verse off the top of my head, but when they talk about like drinking or doing stuff, you don't want to enable like people that's watching you, and like because believe it or not, if you consider yourself a Christian and and stuff, people like look at Christians and see how they're living and see if if they think that those people are like, should I follow this person because I see him say one thing, then I see him act another, and so we have to be real careful, as Christians. And
Well, I've seen it carried so far that you take a deacon in the church and his teenage daughter comes in and looks like she's getting ready to go to the nightclub. Okay. Now she considers, because of generational differences, she considers that as going out clothes, right? And maybe daddy don't see anything wrong with that. But like Bama Dad says, if you're the usher and you're walking down, passing the plate, and hey, I can see Cooch. Sorry, that ain't really acceptable. I'm not telling you to wear an ankle length dress, but look respectable.
Yeah, but you can also go back to the person that Six was talking about, to where, as far as his dress code, everybody should be wearing a three-piece, suit.
Oh,
And
sure.
yeah,
There's
we
a
have
fine
to.
line.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's
The
you
thing,
know, you bring in a lot of young people, and some of them are unchurched, and their parents are unchurched. You can't expect a whole lot, but you can, in a spirit of love and kindness, you can. Hey, I don't want you to be embarrassed. Let's get you
Well,
something.
I've
We've
got
got
a
a
I got a
we got a whole
$300.
closet of sweatshirts. We'll give her a sweatshirt with the church's logo on it. Here, have a
I got a
shirt over there.
$300 resistol hat, but I'll take it off when I come in church. I'm not. I know a woman, and I was raised Methodist, and I knew a woman that come to church in the finest Southern regalia that you've ever seen. I mean, the hats, the plumes, and it got to a point to where, and she was married to a very successful businessman who was down to earth as he could be. Everybody called him Stump. Stump, but she was putting on airs, and it got to be kind of a joke in the church. Let's see what Fanny's going to wear this Sunday, because she's trying to outdo everybody. And that's just like human nature. And when you get to Jamie's Bible verse, Jesus addresses human nature. It's human nature to exclude someone for the way they look. It's human nature to make fun of someone for the way they look. Everybody ought to be welcomed in church up to a point. I mean, I don't advocate bikini wearing in church or anything that would cause men to want, but just dress appropriately. I think it's something our younger generation has lost, which is why they can't do a good job interview. They're too busy looking at that.
Mm-hmm.
They won't look you in the eye.
well, I choose to take Jesus as my example, and like Glenn Davis said, I don't judge anybody because I'm not a perfect person.
Lord, no.
And I strive to do better. Jesus said, "You be without sin, cast the first stone." Jesus met people where they were. He told his disciples, "I'll make you fishers of men." Our job is to be fishers of men and leave the cleaning up to Jesus. He can do a fine job. He can do better than you can. So, Hillbilly got to go.
Yeah.
Glad you stopped by, Hillbilly. Thank you, buddy. Let's go through the room and clear the deck for. Let's talk about bench rest with Chad and Hillbilly and all the guys over there. Hasbro, Coconut, all them guys. Walter, you want to go first, please, sir?
Sure, I'll go quickly. Next week, I'm headed to the range again and finish up my shooting for the Let Freedom Ring videos, which all you guys that are creators, don't forget about that. Coming up on July 4th, post them up at 5 p.m. Eastern time. Doesn't have to be a whole lot, but get something up there. We're going to set them off all at once. And I got a little more shooting to do for that. I got some special ammo I'm making up and so forth. So that's coming up. We got a wad cutter Wednesday on Wednesday. I got another new one. I keep getting more wad cutters. I guys keep pointing them out to me and finding me new ones. Gosh sakes, I can't get ahead. I think I still got 10 more, and we're already at number 50 something. So anyway, and then we'll have a Free the Few Friday. I'm just about to get those shelves cleared off, so I may not have too many more of those. But that's what I got going on. A little bit of PT happening with my back next week, but that's part of the program when you're old, right? Let's go up this way to 6. What you got coming up, buddy?
All right. Well, Sunday we got assembly of the Sheridan rifle air gun. We got number 42 of Wad Cutter Wednesday coming up. I'm going cowboy shooting in the morning. Don't know if the wife's going to be able to or not. She went and got a shot in her hand today because it was hurting pretty bad, and it's swelling it up. And so that's going to be a game day call on that one. Getting in some reloading equipment tomorrow. So we're going to get in there and get some more reloading done. I loaded about 100 rounds of shotgun shells this week, so I've been busy. So that's about it for me. What about you, Kyle?
Oh man, it's same old, same old. I'm loading up some 9mm and some 40 to take to the range probably next Thursday, and some shotgun shells. Got a bunch of Jeep stuff coming in. I'm going to be busy. I get off early enough in the afternoon where I've got time to assemble stuff and do things before I need to go to bed. But it's just too much stuff to do. It just all day long, every day. Anyway, Rebel, what's up?
You're going to regret getting all that stuff on that Jeep and that 5th cylinder going out.
Easy.
Anyway, just looking forward to everybody coming up here. I love it. I love when I meet people that I talk to on the internet. Back in the day, way back in the 300 blackout days, which that forum is defunct now. And me and CW met on that forum, and we fired back at one another, got mad at one another because we didn't know how to talk to one another through text, and there was no emotion. And when I finally found CW over here, we kind of rekindled our friendship, and meeting him and meeting Jamie, and I've met you, Kyle. I hate you're not coming up this time.
I just can't make it, bro.
I know. I love all you guys, and meeting what a friend of mine described. His wife says, "Is that your pretend friend, Colin?" And say, "Pretend friend? He's my friend. You've never met him. I've talked to him on the internet, and that's not real friend." Well, he lives in North Carolina. He finally come up here and met me, and he's a good dude. But meeting all you guys and shooting with you is just friggin' awesome. And Jamie, you might want to think twice before we get on a Great Western subject again, because we could go on to midnight about that.
We damn near did.
Yeah, we damn near did. All right, I'm done. Bama.
Bama.
I don't have nothing. I'm gonna pass it straight on to Scotsman.
All right. Well, it's good seeing everyone up in the side chat. Appreciate everyone being here. Couldn't do this without you. Always appreciate you guys showing up, supporting the channel, supporting the show. Like Waller said earlier, I threw out in the side chat earlier too. Don't forget your Let Freedom Ring videos. This is 250, so make it the good one. Make it big, and let's blow up YouTube bigger than ever on July 4th, 5 o'clock Eastern. With that being said, stay safe, stay vigilant, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you, brother. Y'all don't let Bama Dad fool you. He's working on an app for reloading, and we're fixing to start beta testing it. So I'm going to download it and start using it here, and we'll make tweaks along if we need to. But that's going to be available to all you guys before
Interesting.
before very much longer. So I don't know if we're going to put it on our desktops, on our laptops, or whatever, but that's coming. And maybe next week that we need to talk and demonstrate some of that a little bit and get some interest going and see if there's some folks that'd like to test it. But anyway, with that, the Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. We love you. There ain't nothing you can do about it. And if he's willing, we'll see you next Friday night at 8 o'clock. Say good night, y'all.
Good night, everybody.